Hey, friends, welcome back to another exciting episode of Show Me the Collectibles. As you can see, we have Alexa back, and we are more than excited to see what she brings to the table today. But before we jump into that interview, let's give a shout out to our sponsor of Wrestling from the 313. Go ahead and give Mike D a follow there and check out all their wrestling content, as well as Inside Out Nutrition, wellness coach, and monthly lifestyle. Shout out to Bobby Joe. She had just opened her brand new store in Solon Springs, Wisconsin, and we are so excited to get out there for that grand opening coming up soon. Also, you can check her out on Facebook.com/Inside Out Nutrition for all your healthy donuts and healthy teas. Alexa, how are you doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing awesome. Did you know they make healthy donuts? I just find that fascinating that they can take something so bad for you and turn it into something healthy.
No, but I want to eat it.
We got a slight delay there, but we'll be back. There we go.
Oh, I was just saying I have not heard of that, but I definitely want to eat it.
Yeah, the banana nut ones are amazing. We had them at a vendor table, and I had to control myself from eating all the samples that I was supposed to give out to the fans. So, yeah, and I love donuts, so I am not shy to say that. So.
I love donuts. Love them.
I have to have sprinkles on them because I am a 5-year-old at heart. Because, yeah.
I get chocolate sprinkles all the time. I get chocolate with the little sprinkles. Like I'm 5. Like I
Perfect.
Still do it. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, let's jump right into it. Give us a little backstory of you, kind of what you do, and then let's see those collectibles.
Of course. Well, my name's Alexa. For those of you who didn't hear it before, my name's Alexa. I collect all kinds of stuff, mostly 80s and 90s collectibles, mostly toys from the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. I got into this about 10 years ago, and a lot of the stuff is just accumulated over time. I don't really have most of the stuff I just have, it reminds me of my childhood. Mm-hmm. I had no purpose of getting anything symbiotic, if that makes sense. Everything is just eclectic and all over the place, honestly. It's just stuff from my childhood, and I enjoyed buying stuff that I had as a kid and then having it as an adult and getting to actually buy it again. It's so amazing. A lot of the stuff I didn't get to keep from childhood because my mom sold it or, one thing led to another. You know how it is. It's like you don't get to keep a lot of it, especially if you move a lot. It's hard to take it all. So I'll go ahead and get started for you. So we have board games. I like to show off my board games because it's fun. I actually have had this since childhood. I've had this since I was about 8. It's the Rugrats Backyard Game.
Oh, interesting.
Well, yeah, I only played it a couple of times. It wasn't that interesting of a game, but it's just the fact that it's Rugrats is so cool. Mm-hmm. I think they made this in 1997, so pretty big at the time. If you guys are Rugrats fans, you'll love it. It's a fun game. It's a fun time.
Yeah, I know the kids always wear that nostalgia Nickelodeon stuff at the school that I work at. And I'm always like, do you even know who's on your sweatshirt? Well, I know that's Reptar. And I was like, okay.
Yep. Do you know who
I'm glad you got 1 out of the 7, so I'm proud of you. So
hey, they got 1 out of the 7. We got to give them credit for that. Yep. No, for real. It's interesting because I see lots of kids do the same thing. And I'm like, do you know what you're wearing? Or do you know what this is? But I'm happy to see it. It's nice to see. For me, it's just more like, do you know what it is? Okay. Anastasia. So I've actually had this since childhood too. Mm-hmm. My dad kept this at his house for God knows how long. My dad doesn't get rid of stuff, so he just happened to have this. I got this at my 8th birthday party or my 7th birthday party, and I had an Anastasia obsession. I actually had the Tiger game at one time in my life, but I don't have it anymore. I wish I did. It's actually pretty pricey now. If you look on eBay, it's like not cheap. But I do have this. I had an Anastasia. I honestly, man, I don't know if you've seen it in a while, but it's a great film. It's really good.
I am obsessed with Bartok. The little white bat. I had the Burger King toy. Yes. Yeah.
I love him.
Yep. I didn't realize he had his own movie till recently. So.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. It was one of those it came out a couple of years later after Anastasia, and it was like, oh hey, he gets his own film, and I was like, I don't think I ever saw it though. I think it was one of those where I got a little bit older and I just wasn't as interested.
Yeah.
But they made a lot of those side movies, back then. It was a big thing. They all did the sequels, and a lot of people mistake Anastasia for Disney. It's not.
I was just gonna say that. I thought for years that was a Disney movie, and I was proven wrong. So
I don't know why I remember this. I remember Fox making the film, and I don't know why I remember this. Just a core memory that I was like, no, it's not Disney. And but a lot of people think she's a Disney princess. Ironically, you know, since Disney bought Fox, I mean, technically, I guess she could be now.
Yeah.
This is one of my prized ones. It's a Full House board game.
Oh wow.
Yes. They even have like the cast on the front, like playing. You got Candace Cameron Bure, you've got Michelle, you know, you've got Jodie Sweetin. I know her name. This is, I think, Ashley on the box. This is the Ashley Olsen twin on the box.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have like the cards. I don't know if you can see, sorry, too well, but there's a the object of the game is Joey is at home practicing his comedy for his big night, but no one is home to hear him. Everyone knows you can't practice comedy without an audience. It has all the laughs and the fun of the hit TV show. So I guess the object of the game is get everyone to hear Joey by moving around the board and picking up DJ, Stephanie, Jesse, and the gang from various locations to get them all home and to give Joey a full house.
Weird.
I don't know. I feel like I could have came up with a better plot for this game. I'm just saying. But I think they were just trying to bank off of like the Full House success at the time. I think I don't have the Barbies, but they made Barbies too.
Oh, were you one that collected or watched a lot of those Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen videos?
Oh yeah, I've got the tapes. We'll do another episode.
Oh, perfect. Because I watched them as a kid. I was like 9 or 10. I used to watch those all the time and just be like, what's this one about? Where they were like cowboys or they were detectives, and yeah.
What was your favorite? Do you remember?
What's favorite? That? I think it was probably that Western one, that because I liked Westerns a lot as a kid. The cowboys, and that was my jam. I used to have the little plastic. I know it's inappropriate to say cowboys and Indians kind of thing. With the plastic little things. Those were my jam. And the little army men. Playing out in the dirt, making forts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we had them too, and I think when Indian in the Cupboard came out, that was huge. So we got the toys for that at the time. So that was a thing when we were kids, guys. Just so anyone for watching, that was what we had as children. But yeah, I like that one. That was How the West Was Fun, I believe.
Okay, yep. And they're so cringe now when you kind of watch them, like the acting and or where they were eating all the junk food at one of them, and yeah.
The only thing I can think of, I have so many thoughts when I watch these and I look back. It's hard because I try really hard to stay in the nostalgia goggles, which means I try not to think about these poor children working their bones off, working to the bone at 8 years old. I'm like, okay, just think about how cute this was and how fun it is. Just try to get into the nostalgia. And that's what I try to do. I try to not think about the fact that these were children having to work so hard at that age, working harder than we ever did, at 8 years old. But it is fun to watch. My favorite was To Grandmother's House We Go. It's this one where they're trying to find their grandma's house because their mom is overworked. She's a single mom and she's overworked, so they run away from home because the mom's venting to a friend. She's like, "Hey, these kids are too much, meh," and she's doing her normal parenting venting thing. And so the kids over here and they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna go hit up grandma's instead." But they know their grandma lives in Fremont or something. So they're like, okay, she lives there. We're just going to take the bus. Let's go. And so they just take off. And so you watch these kids. But then there's these burglars played by Rhea Perlman and Dick Van Dyke's brother.
Okay.
And they kidnap the kids. But they're so friendly. Like through the whole thing. I mean, they keep it appropriate. And they're just like, hey, we're going to use these kids for ransom. We're going to collect the money. And then we're going to go hit up some casinos, So but it's so nostalgic for me because that was like the first one I think I saw. That was like the first Olsen twins film I saw as a kid. So for me, it was just nostalgic. I had the tape as a kid. But I had a lot of the tapes as a child. But moving on, we'll get into the games here. So I wanted to show off my game collection. So I did the board games that I've got that I felt like were nostalgic. So now we're going to get into some of my faves. I've got my Game Boy.
Original, yep.
My OG Game Boy. It doesn't work anymore. It did for so long, and all of a sudden it stopped working. So I think the ribbon's messed up or loose or something. But yeah, in 1999, original Game Boy, one of my faves. I'm still gonna keep it just for the sake of keeping it. You know, I feel like I'm not gonna ever let it go. It's just a beautiful piece to have.
And I'm sure somebody out there could get it fixed for you nowadays with the way people tinker with things. It's crazy.
I was thinking about just going on YouTube and looking, but I was like, don't want to mess with this.
Right.
I get nervous about like going on inside and messing with these things a little bit, but we'll see. I want to show off my Tiger game collection. These when you were growing up?
I did. I just made a post on our Show Me the Collectibles page about those electronics.
What do you have?
I have the Lion King one, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and 101 Dalmatians. So they're on sale on eBay for like $15. I'm so tempted to get them again. So
please do. I got this one on eBay. It does work. Let's see. Speaking of Aladdin, do you have Aladdin? It's beautiful. They're not good games, but they're super fun. It's like, it's just so fun. I love the artwork. I admire how they did this back then. I can look at this and see, okay, they had very similar buttons. They had similar styles. It wasn't hard to make these, but I like and admire the design. I feel like you don't have nostalgia without these in your collection, at least in my opinion. I feel like these are so nostalgic of the time.
And the background didn't move. The annoying. I just watched the gameplay on one. Someone made sure that they showed that it worked on eBay, and I was like, "That sound is piercing," but I remember it vividly.
It's I could play it for you, but I don't know if you want to hear it. But it's like a, it's like a do 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 do, and it's like a. And the background doesn't move. The front does, but you can barely see it, and you have to kind of squint your eyes. They apparently made a light to attach to these. I never had it, but I saw that there was a YouTuber, I won't say her name because she's been canceled, but she had a light attached to, like, she bought the light for it.
Okay,
she
gotcha.
attached the light on the game, and apparently there was a light. Kind of like the Game Boy where they made the little attached light.
That part I remember because I was like, man, I need one of those so I can play at night. But then my brother would yell at me for playing, or I had this Battleship goggles thing, and it was just loud as hell. And he'd yell at me all the time, "Turn the sound off." And you could just like scroll through, and I would love to find another one of those. So,
dude, yes.
Battleship is the best.
That was great. It was a good game. We had some good games growing up. We just had some fun. We had fun, eclectic stuff.
Yep.
I do love Beauty and the Beast, so I have this one as well. I couldn't go without it. It does work, but I don't have batteries in it at the moment. But yeah, those are the my Tiger electronic games. So I was a big fan of those. Huge fan. For me, those were my childhood. They were just a big part of what I had growing up. And for me, they were a big deal. Like, they were the shit for me. I did have the 101 Dalmatians one, and I had one that was a Candyland looking one.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So it was Candyland.
There's so many of them if you search out on eBay. I didn't realize there was such a, like, there's Tailspin, like you said, Candyland. I believe there was like a Mighty Ducks one, and it's just crazy.
There was a Home Alone, and I was like, I wanted to get the Home Alone one. There was a Home Alone for the first film and the second film, so I wanted to get both just because I was like, I love Home Alone.
Yeah.
So I was tempted. I was super tempted, but I was like, I'm gonna wait. The artwork's like, they have a picture of the poster, and it's like a white, like, cartridge like this one. But it's pretty sweet though. I was tempted to get it just for the nostalgia of it all. I never had a Talk Boy though. Never did.
Quick little delay there again. Those things are iconic for my childhood.
Yeah.
If I could go back and buy those, I totally would. Now, are you a gamer now because of it, or was that kind of your gaming forte?
No, I do game. I do mostly Switch. So I play on the Switch. So I do that. I also have a Super NES. So I do have and then, like, on Nintendo Switch, you can do a subscription to play all your old games.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do that. And I don't know how, but I'm not paying them. And somehow I still have them. I don't know how. Nintendo don't bust me for this, but
You'll text me the next day and be like, thanks, Cal.
Thanks, Cal.
You said it.
I revealed it. But I do have the so I had the subscription, so I have Super Nintendo, I have NES, and I've got N64 on there. So it's pretty cool because they upload new games like I think once a month or something like that. So it's pretty awesome. I get to play a lot of those, and I mean I do have a Super NES console and I have a Dreamcast console physically.
You have a dream. Okay. Now I am officially more jealous of you because you have a Dreamcast. That is the next one on my list to get. Back in the day, they were like doorstops. You couldn't just give them away. And now no one has them for sale. And if they do, they're like $150. It's like, come on. Yeah.
Well, so I had lent mine to a friend for like 6 years.
Okay.
And I lent it to him, and then I was like, hey, can I have it back? And he's like, oh yeah, it's just waiting for you here. And I was like, 6 years later, 7 years later, I was like, I'm gonna come get it because I want to play it. So I played my Crazy Taxi game on it. It's so good.
I just bought that for Xbox not too long ago, Crazy Taxi 3.
Yes.
And I made the wife play, and she's just like, this is really fun. I'm like, yeah, imagine stressing out over just a time, So, yeah, iconic game right there. So I usually play the sports games, but, I would love to get another Dreamcast because, I don't know, that's just another one that I grew up on playing. My original Xbox is my OG. My friends make fun of me that I'm stuck in the year 2000. I have like Roller Coaster Tycoon for that. I've got almost any game that's cheap I try to grab just to keep building that Xbox collection.
Now, can you find pretty decent cheap games for the Xbox or no?
So we have like the discount stores here. You can find them for $2-3, or you go to the yard sales. People got them in there for $0.25 because it's 4 generations past by now.
Yeah.
So you can scoop them up pretty quick. Sports titles, those are usually super cheap because it's from 2008, and I'm probably the only person playing that game still. I get them relatively cheap, but I just scoop them up. Even if I didn't really play them, it's just that it's in my collection now. So, and then I have a modded Xbox that actually has Sega, NES, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy Color games all on it. So I could fire up my modded Xbox and play Pokemon. So,
okay, right? Please send me pictures of that.
I will definitely do that once I get it hooked back up here. I got I stole my niece's 360. She doesn't watch my episodes. I'm gonna steal it. So now I'm living in 2008, or excuse me, 12 instead of 2008. So I'm like 4 years or more. But yeah, so yeah, I'll definitely have to fire that up and show you some of the games on there because I can play Donkey Kong, I can play Sonic, I can play Mario Brothers 2, and then there's somebody must have made a inappropriate one, and it's like naked Mario running around. So
oh my god,
yeah, it's crazy, but
man, these these gamers, these designers, they get really creative.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool because I don't have to buy every old video game now that I want. I can just fire that up if I got a hankering to play like the old Excite Bike or regular Mario's. But with the Switch, which is nice, is you can get that 3-pack game where it's got it's regular, number 2 and 3. You can also get that for Superstars for NES, but then they did it for all the newer ones like Mario 64, Sunshine, and that. So you have all these games in just one location, which I think Nintendo is awesome for doing. So
I have to commend them on that. I was very surprised to see all the old games available for like subscription and being able to just play them on my Switch. I love that. And I could boost it on, I could do it on my TV. I could do it on handheld. I love that.
Yep.
I wanted to show one last thing, and then we can continue. I love this discussion because I love talking games. But yes, I did have it. Oh, one funny thing. I was talking to my nephew like a day or two ago. He did not believe me when I told him there was an Xbox, just an Xbox with no name next to it. I told him, yes, baby, there was an Xbox without a 1 next to it or without a Series X next to it. There was just an Xbox. It had an X on it. And he's like, nah. And I was like, yes, like there was an Xbox back then. How do you think we started? we had a PlayStation, we had an Xbox. There wasn't like he didn't believe me. He didn't believe me. He thought I was making it up. And I was like, no, dude. I used to have an Xbox a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had a PlayStation a long time ago. I'm really sad because I got rid of them over the years, you know, trying to make money in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
I regret it so much because I had an Xbox and I had a PlayStation. I never had a PS2, but I had a PS3. And I never had an NES though. I'd like to get an NES console. I think that'd be pretty cool.
And you can also get those ones that'll actually play both, like Sega and NES or NES and Super Nintendo. So those are always nice. They fill the void. The wife actually has one that is painted or customized with Zelda. It has Link on it, and that's really cool. And she's never, I don't even think she's fired it up since we've been together. But eventually, once we get a house and more room for more animals and cats, bless her heart, we'll have all the video game systems out in the living room. So then it's just like, all right, all I got to do is turn this power button on and I can fire away. So
yeah, just switch the input. What do you want to play?
Yeah.
That is so cool. Yeah, I've been wanting to do that myself, man. I think that'd be awesome. I hope that happens for you guys because I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see one more thing real quick. I'm trying to see if I can switch.
We're going on an adventure.
We're going on an adventure.
I'll stay here then.
Well, you're not coming? Dang it, dude.
Well, I'll follow, but I'm not going to get out of my seat.
Okay, so we have the Pac-Man machine.
That's awesome.
The Miss Pac-Man machine. This is one of my faves. It's just a computer inside, so it's just a hard drive inside. But you just hook up to Wi-Fi. It's just one of those one-up machines, but I couldn't resist. It has all the Pac-Mans, and then it has a few other shooting games on here, so it's pretty sweet. I like it.
That is dope.
It's dope as F, man. I'm like, this is cool. It was my birthday gift to myself. I think this was after your show, ironically.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I was like, I didn't have it when I was talking to you before, I don't think. But yeah, Galaga is my favorite. So I was super happy they loaded Galaga on here. I was like super flippin' excited. But yes, so I always find myself when I go places like hotels or I go places to visit, I play Pac-Man. Like, so if I see a machine, I'll play it.
Yeah.
So, well, I may as well just get one, and then my nephew like hardly ever plays it, so it's mostly just me. But I flippin' love it, and yeah, when I have kids someday, I'm like, yeah, hopefully they'll be into it and they'll want to play.
I miss arcades. I really do. We used to have a few in the malls when I was growing up. It's just something about going there, throwing some quarters in the machine, hanging out with your friends. Now it's all just ticket machines. Yes. But I mean, that's always fun too. Like we have a couple small ones around here connected to like pizza places and stuff. And you can win little prizes. And the wife and I will get the little ugly little trolls. And we were just at the Mall of America recently. And we were playing the games. We got our picture actually inside of an old carnival ride that was a booth inside the restaurant, the Mall of America there. It was just some spinning bear ride, kind of like the Tilt-A-Whirl that we just had to go sit in and get our picture taken in. But yeah, arcades are definitely missed. I hope that's something that comes back in the future. You know, like you said, when you have kids or when we have kids, it'd be kind of cool just to be like, hey, back in my day, you know, and they'd be like, we don't care, Dad. Just give me the card so I can play the games. So,
you know, I really think I think malls are making a huge mistake because malls are kind of dying, and I've seen that this year with the holiday season kind of tying back into that. But you know what they could do is if they had like a big room of arcade games and they treated malls the way that they are, which is retro. If they treated malls like a retro place, if they designed them with the neon lights and they had a skating rink inside and they had an arcade room in there, like a huge arcade room, and people just put quarters in. I mean, they could make some money. I think they could definitely attract people back to the malls because that's not really what you have everywhere else anymore. Right? So if malls could collect on the nostalgia train, which is still up and running. We have
Right.
Wonka coming out in theaters. We've got Mean Girls coming out in theaters.
Mhm.
It's like there is still a need and a want for this. So if malls could, I think, put their heads together and say, hey, let's collect on the nostalgia. Let's put like a skating rink in here. Let's do a big arcade room with a bunch of old school games. They could bring people back.
And you could easily partner with like McDonald's or Burger King or whatever's, you know, like else is big out there. But I'm sure those companies would say, okay, for an exclusive, let's dive into those old logos. Let's get into those old color schemes.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are going to be like, oh my God, like I want to go back to Burger King when it was such like this, or Taco Bell when they actually had like
It was
the
like pink and blue.
neon and
Yeah,
pink.
the neon, yeah.
You know, just for those exclusive things where you could be like, well, let's go to the one in the mall because it's like so fun because it reminds me when I was a kid. You're onto something, you know, like.
Oh my God, I love that idea. Like if the food court has like McDonald's, but it's the old logo of McDonald's. It has the old Taco Bell. It has the old Burger King in there. The old Sonic. Dude, yes.
I mean, they have all of that stuff saved somewhere for reference that they could easily do. You know what I mean? So
there's an archive somewhere.
Yep. And you got to have the classic pizza joint in there that sells it by the slice.
Yes.
You know, I used to go to the mall with my friends almost every weekend. We wouldn't buy anything, but we'd eat in the food court or go to a movie. And I'd always get a slice of pizza from Sbarro's, I think it's called here.
Sbarro, yes. No, we had it here.
Yep.
We had Sbarro.
Yep, they still have one at the mall here in Duluth.
Oh, for real?
And we got a slice. I wasn't a fan of it. For some reason, it just didn't hit like it did.
Okay.
And then we have a local chain back home. It was called Rocky Rococo's. Just this weird dude in sunglasses and alligator hat looking thing. And I brought the wife there, and I was like, "Oh, you gotta try it. It's like the best pizza ever." And it did not resonate. It felt gross and old. It was probably because I was sitting in the warmer most of the day because there was the lunch rush. But I keep telling them when we go to Eau Claire one time, we're just gonna get a full pizza and try it that way to see if it hits. Otherwise, I'm done going there. You know, but it's just those core memories, you know, that you want to share with your spouses or your significant others, and be, you know, you hope they live up to the hype. And I'm 0 for 3 on that with her because she's just like, this was good. I was like, it used to be, you know, so
it used to be good, I swear. Right, exactly. Like, no, this was good, I swear. It's just not good anymore. Yeah, and they could do like an Orange Julius. They could do like a hot dog on a stick or something. Like, they could get really creative. It's almost like they know what they should do. They're just not doing it.
Yep.
Which is, I know that you got to have some capital, but come on. If you can get all these businesses to come in and know that they could bring in money.
Yep.
I mean, you know, because people are going to want to be, if you treat a mall like a time capsule, that's really how I think how malls could still make money. That's my theory. I don't know. I mean, that's what I think they should do. They could even do a Stranger Things mall.
Yeah. I
mean, they could tie on that. Netflix can make money. Like, you know, everybody makes money. I don't know.
Bring back Aladdin's Castle, the arcade, and get the actual gold coins that you have to use or tokens to put in there, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I would love that so much.
Definitely. I would never leave. I'd be stuck in my own little world. I'd be like, I live here now. This is where you'll find me. So, but all right, Alexa, where can the people find you? We're obviously going to get you in here for a part 3 to keep diving into these collectibles, but where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok, just under my name, Alexa Kachinska. Feel free to follow me. I do videos of new findings. I do go shopping for new collectibles as often as I can. I go to eBay. I go in the wild. I try to find and pick things up there too. So yes, definitely follow me, Alexa Kachinska, just my name.
Perfect. And make sure you go back in the archives, watch that old episode. She pulls out some Power Rangers. I remember that. You know, I'm excited to keep diving into this collection now that Show Me the Collectibles is getting going here again. And we're just going to keep finding cool things, and we'll continue to chat.
Thank you, Cal, for having me
again. Awesome. I am so glad we found each other. I know that sounds kind of weird or creepy, but that's not what it's about. It's because we got an interest in the same thing, and it's great to find new friends. So.
Oh, I love making new friends, man. You're so cool. And I want to meet your wife too.
Perfect. Well, she's camera shy and she's very introverted, so we'll see if I can drag her in for an episode. So,
Yay.
all righty, everyone. That is another
Thanks, Cal.
episode. Yep. Don't go anywhere this time, like last time we had to reconnect. But that's another episode of Show Me the Collectibles, folks. It's your boy, Grander Q. Grander Q out.